بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Chapter number 8 of Kitab At-Tawheed, الرقى والتمائم. الرقى والتمائم. Ruqa is the plural of ruqyah. And what is meant here, we said last chapter we discussed, ruqyah is what? Ruqyah is the act of seeking a cure by reciting the Quran and the adhkar or the du'as the Prophet ﷺ taught. Reciting the Quran or the adhkar and the dua the Prophet ﷺ taught, reciting on yourself or as someone else to gain a cure is called ruqyah. You're curing yourself. And then we discussed the chapter on wearing amulets, charms, ta'weez, hirs, talismans, whatever you call them. And that is shirk. And that is shirk. Now the next chapter, he brings a general chapter on ruqa and tama'im. He says, so we can understand this very well. عن أبو بشير الأنصاري أبو بشير الأنصاري رضي الله عنه he narrates عن أبي بشير الأنصاري رضي الله عنه أنه كان مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم that Abu Bashir, he was in the company of Allah's Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم في بعض أسفاره on one of his journeys. فأرسل رسولا, so the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he sent a messenger to proclaim to the people, to teach the people, أن لا يبقين في رقبة بعير قلادة من وتر أو قلادة إلا قطعت أو قطعت. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he sent out a messenger to everybody. There shall not remain any necklace or bowstring which is tied on a camel or on the necks of the camels or other animals, except that cut it off. The ta'weez, as our Indo-Pak brothers call it. The hirs, some of our brothers call it. The hijab, some people call it. That amulet, that talisman you wear. Before in Jahiliyyah, even today in some communities, they did not just use it for human beings. They used to use it even for animals. And this is the hadith here. We went through the hadith of human beings. The Prophet ﷺ says, this hadith reported by Bukhari and Muslim, no, nothing like that should remain in any animal even. Why? Like we discussed in the last class. For those who are not here, it is very important you go and listen to that class. Very important. You go on YouTube, you search Abu Umar, you'll see someone who looks like me, listen to that class. Very important. We can't repeat the details today. But to show you how haram it is, how prohibited it is, it's not allowed even to be on animals. By the way, they still do this today. They put it on camels or cows. And they put a bell. You seen a bell hanging on a cow or a cow or a camel? Some of them use it as a sign. If the cow was to be lost, they can listen to that sound. But some of them, they believe that's protection. Or they put other things on the camels to protect them. This is shirk. Like we said, how does a piece of string protect you? Next, Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he narrated that he heard Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, Inna ruqa wa tama'im wa tiwalata shirkun. Ruqya is one, mufrad, jam', the plural of that in Arabic is ruqa. So this hadith reported by Abu Dawud and the Musnad of Ahmad, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, ruqa and tama'im. Tama'im is the plural of tamima, like we said, those things people wear on the neck, hirs, ta'weez. And tiwala they are all shirk. What is meant here? The ruqyah which is meant here, now read the second paragraph, is the act of reciting incantations, they're called incantations, and charms and words which are not in the Quran or in the Sunnah to seek a cure. This is mostly from sihr, magic. They recite words, you don't know what language they're speaking, right or wrong. And that's how they're calling on the shayateen. Those kinds of ruqyah, they are shirk. The ruqyah which is of the Quran and the hadith the Prophet ﷺ taught you, that is allowed completely. You understand? So next time you go to someone and he acts like he's the one who he can cure you and give you whatever, and he's reading things you don't understand, run away. Run away. Because that is shirk. And that is how magicians, they do magic. They have special words they say to call on the shayateen and the jinn and to worship them. Then the shayateen, they obey them. Those kind of incantations, ruqyah, they are shirk. They are shirk. At-tama'im. What does the tama'im mean? Tama'im, like we discussed, is the plural of tamima. Putting an amulet around the neck of children to save them from the effects of evil eye. Or some people don't just wear it. You don't just wear it. Some people wear it on the neck, some of them on the hand, some of them the baby on the waist, on the feet, right? Or some people, they hang it on their door. Some people, they put it under their pillow. That is shirk. With the details we discussed last class. You have to go back to the details we discussed last class. Either it is minor shirk or it is major shirk. And tiwala, what is tiwala? The hadith says ruqyah and tama'im and tiwala, they are shirk. Tiwala is the sihr they do. It is the sihr they do, magic they do, bewitchment, to make a woman more beloved to the husband or the husband more beloved to the woman. This is all shirk. Because someone might say, oh, it's for a good cause. We're making him love more and he is loving her more. No, shirk is shirk. Shirk is shirk. There is no white magic and black magic. That is the trick of the shaitan. Magic is magic. There's a whole chapter on this. Abdullah ibn Uqaym radiallahu anhu, he narrated the following marfu' hadith. We said, what is the marfu' hadith? Hadith which they relate to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Man ta'allaqa shay'an wukila ilayhi. The one who wears something, the one who hangs something, the one who attaches himself to something, you will be left to that thing. That thing will be put in charge of you. Remember the hadith we read last chapter? The Prophet ﷺ said what? فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَزِيدُكَ إِلَّا وَهْنًا. When he asked the person, why are you wearing this? Why are you wearing the ring? قَالَ مِنَ الْوَاهِنَةِ, is from weakness. The Prophet ﷺ said what? It only increases in weakness. Why? Because it's in this hadith, whoever hangs something believing it protects him, Allah will put that thing in charge of you. And how can a ring or a black string take care of you? And this is a severe warning. It's a severe warning that Allah is saying, I'm not in charge of you anymore. I don't take care of you. La ilaha illallah. Then you're in deep trouble. Then you're in deep trouble. You do not, some people they have that thing, and this is from the kuffar also, but Muslims they took it. You know, the sign of the hand, right? The sign of the hand. So they make that as a sticker or they hang it in the car, believing that hand, then they draw in the middle of it what? An eye. This protects me from evil eye. That is shirk. That is shirk. Or some people from the Indian subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, you have some of these crazy beliefs also. I don't know if you put coconut water on your door, then no bad people come inside. Right? Things like that. This is shirk. This is shirk. We don't believe in this stuff. Whoever attaches himself to something, Allah will put that thing in charge of you. And that is the greatest loss. The believer, the real mu'min, every morning and every evening he asks a great dua. This dua everybody has to memorize. From the adhkar, the things you say in the morning and the evening. The adhkar of the morning and the evening. We said in the morning, when do you say them? From after Fajr until sunrise. That is the time you do those adhkar. And in the evening, when you say them? Around this time. This is the best time. Just before Maghrib. Whoever says those is protected the whole day until the evening. Whoever says in the evening is protected until morning. We mentioned last time, part of that which you should not forget is what? Ayatul Kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa wal hayyul qayyum. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us, Bismillahi alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wala fis sama'i wa huwa as-sami'ul alim. You say that 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the evening, nothing will harm you. And one of the great dhikr you do in the morning and the evening, you say, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, O Allah, you are the ever-living, the one who's in charge of everything. Birahmatika astaghithu, I seek help by your mercy. Aslih li sha'ni kullahu, make all of my affairs to be good. وَلَا تَكِلْنِي إِلَى نَفْسِي طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ, and do not let me to be under the care of my own self even for the blink of an eye. The Muslim, he needs Allah every second, every millisecond of your life. If Allah was not to take care of us for a millisecond, then you're in deep trouble. So the one who hangs something, who wears something, then that thing is put in charge of you, waliyadhu billah. These are the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This hadith is in Musnad Ahmad and Sunan at-Tirmidhi. And in Musnad Ahmad also from the hadith of Ruwayfi' radiyallahu anhu, who said that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to me, Ya Ruwayfi' or Ruwayfi' لعل الحياة ستطول بك, maybe you will live longer than me. Maybe you will live longer than me. Maybe you will have a long life. فأخبر الناس, so inform the people, أن من عقد لحيته, that the one who ties a knot in his beard, the one who ties a knot in his beard, he ties a knot. أو تقلد وترا, or he ties that string around the neck of an animal or for the human beings. أو استنجى برجيع دابة, or he cleans himself after the washroom act with the dung of animals. أو عظم, or the bone. فإن محمدا بريء منه, then tell those people that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is far removed from them. Meaning you are doing things which are not the way of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Sa'id ibn Jubair radiyallahu anhu, he said, and we said, who's Sa'id ibn Jubair? One of the greatest tabi'een, from those who learned from the Sahaba. He said, Man qata'a tamimatan min insanin, if you see someone wearing that ta'weez, hirs, hijab, whatever you call it, and you cut it from him, kana ka'idli raqaba, it is like setting free a slave. It's like you found someone to be a slave and you set him free. Now, of course, Ikhwani, this is where you have authority. It does not mean you live here today and everybody you see wearing that, you go snatching their necks. No. Al-amr bil-ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar, commanding good, forbidding evil, is by istita'a, by ability. If it's somewhere you have authorities, your son, your daughter, you can do that, you take it out like that. Otherwise, use your da'wah. Bil hikmah, with wisdom and good speech. Tell that brother, that sister, this is not allowed, this is shirk. Now this is not a hadith, this is the statement of Sa'id. Because if you look at it, it's true though. The one who cuts her off is like letting free a slave. You actually just let free this man from shirk and from depending from a piece of string. Now he is a free man upon Tawheed again. And it is Waqi' ibn al-Jarrah, one of the great imams of Islam, Waqi', who narrated, or he recorded, that he reported from Ibrahim al-Nakha'i. Ibrahim al-Nakha'i, he is one of the main students of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. One of the main students of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. And we just learned today, we said what the Prophet ﷺ, he told us to follow the guidance of Ibn Mas'ud. They used to dislike every type of amulet and talisman, ta'weez, every kind of it. Here's every kind of it. Whether it contained verses of the Quran or anything else. And we discussed this last time in detail. And this is one of the many proofs. Even if that ta'weez, that hirz, that hijab is verse of the Quran, it is haram. It is haram. For the many reasons we mentioned last lecture, you can go and watch that. So this was a general chapter on that. The next chapter, it says, do you have any questions on that before I continue? Very quickly, 1 or 2 questions only on this chapter. The string, if you put on the animal just to identify the animal, there's nothing wrong. Wallahu a'lam, but there's nothing wrong. If it's just a mark or to identify the animal, there's nothing wrong. Now, any other question? We said it is haram. Sheikh, where you're not hearing me? We discussed that in detail. It is haram to wear the ta'weez, the hirz, the tamima, even if it is just the Quran. Why? Because of many reasons. Number 1, what is the first reason? Quickly. What is the first reason? The main reason why it is haram. The best Muslims, the Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba, they never did it. So why do you want to do it? Was it possible for them to do it or not? Yes. They had the Quran, they had pens, they had blacks. Why did they do it? They didn't do it. The Quran, you read it on yourself to protect you. You don't hang it. Number 2, because then that same person who wears that, he goes to the washroom with it. And he stays and he's backbiting people. And he's cursing people. And he's eating haram. He is watching haram. And he wears the Quran. That Quran curses you, waliyadhan billah. You understand? And this explicit text from Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, from his students, that they used to say it is dislike. When they say dislike before, it is haram. Right? It is not, it's not allowed. The next chapter, chapter number 9, and this chapter is very important. It is not shirk, but it is haram. It is a bid'ah, it is an innovation, because the Prophet ﷺ never did that. He never did that. No. It is like how some people, he takes the mushaf, the Quran, and he puts it at the window of his bedroom or his house. Right? On the window. Believing that if I put the mushaf on the window, no evil spirits will come inside the house. No, who told you that? There's bad jinns who come in the masjid. You are praying, right away you say Allahu Akbar, he takes you to grade 12. You are now 65, 80 years old. Right? He takes you, oh, you need to do that. That is a shaitan called Hinzib. He just comes in the masjid. The shayateen, they come in the masjid. You think they won't come to your house because you put the mushaf? No. But if you read Al-Baqarah, that is why I said the Quran is supposed to be read. The Prophet ﷺ said, الشيطان ينفر من البيت الذي يقرأ فيه البقرة. The shaitan, he runs away from the house where Surah Al-Baqarah is read. You understand? Now, the Quran is not decoration, hanging. No. Read the Quran, practice the Quran, and Allah protects you. How much time do we have? 15 minutes. Yeah. No, this chapter requires a lot of explanation though. It's very important. This chapter is on tabarruk. Like we mentioned last time, tabarruk. Seeking blessings through things. You touch this microphone, you say there's barakah. You know, you kiss the hand of your sheikh, you have to pay 10,000 to kiss the hand of that sheikh, right? And then you wipe it on your, say there's barakah. What does Islam say about that? Calm down, guys, calm down, please. What does Islam say about that? Trees, certain masjids, certain graves of people. Say, oh, this is the grave of so-and-so, you have to go touch and there's barakah. What does Islam say about that? It is not allowed. And it goes to shirk. But the details of that, we will continue on Sunday. Sunday, not tomorrow. Sunday, inshaAllah. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. We have questions quickly. Otherwise, now it's time for dua. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said there's an hour in the day of Friday when no dua is rejected. This is the hour right now, just until Maghrib. And we are all fasting, inshallah. The dua of the fasting person is not rejected. It is time to make dua. How do you make dua? Raise your hands up. Put your heart down. Submit yourself. Humble yourself to Allah. Let your heart be down. You should beg Allah. And you start by praising Allah. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah bihamdi, Subhanallah al-Azim. And then you say Salatu ala Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad to the end. Then ask whatever you want. That is how you make dua. Naam akhi. Salam. What about touching the Kaaba and wiping the clothes on the Kaaba? Sunday, inshallah. You're working on Sunday. You can watch live stream. Live stream. The Kaaba is different. The Kaaba is different. But it's only one part of the Kaaba, by the way. What is called the Multazam. The Multazam is in between. You know where the door is? The door. Between the corner until the end of the door, you can go and touch that and whatnot. Naam.